Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give a small glimpse about neuro linguistic programming (NLP). It is started on since the 1970s. Linguistic programming researchers began studying the effect of our thoughts on our mind. The neuro linguistic program techniques that were described can be powerfully effective in changing how you experience the world. Since our thoughts and feelings shape our reality, this means that these neurolinguistic program techniques can as actually transform your entire life. Here are five of the most impactful neurolinguistic techniques when it comes to changing your behavior and helping you manifest a better future. We can have a look of these ones. First, we can see the dissociations. So, have you ever been in a situation that gave you a bad feeling? Maybe you have experienced something that gets you down every time you experience it. Or perhaps you get nervous in certain work situations where you have to speak publicly. Maybe as you get shy when you want to approach that special someone you have had your eye on. While these feelings of sadness, nervousness, or shyness seems to be automatic or unstoppable, neurolinguistic program techniques of dissociation can help immensely. First one like is identify the emotions. Example: fear, rage, discomfort, dislike of situation that you want to get rid of. Second one like imagine that you can float out of your body and look back at yourself, encoding the entire circumstances from an observer's perspective. Third one, like I said, notice that the feeling changes dramatically. Next one, like as a for an extra boost, imagine that you can float out your body looking at yourself, then float out this body again. So you are looking at yourself, This double dissociation should take the negative emotions of almost any neurosis. The main second one is like a content reframing. Try these techniques when you feel that a situation is negative or helpless. Reframing will take any negative situations and empower you by changing the meaning of the experience into something positive. For example, let's say that your relationship ends. That may seem awful on the surface, but let's reframe it. What are the possible benefits of being single? For example, you are now open to other potential relationship. You also have the freedom to do what you want when you want, and you have learned valuable lessons from this relationship that will allow you to have even better relationships in the future. These are all our examples of reframing situations. By reframing the meaning of the breakup, you give yourself a different experience of it. In expected situations, it's a nature to panic of or focus on fear, but this just leads to more problems. In contrast, shifting your focus in the way just described helped you to clear your head and make responsible, even handle decisions. Third main thing is like anchoring yourself. Anchoring originates with the Russian scientist Ivan Pavlov, who experienced with the dogs by ringing a bell repeatedly while the dogs were eating. After repeated rings of the bell, he found he could get the dogs to salivate by ringing the bell anytime, even if there was no food present. This created a neurological association between the bell and the behavior of a salivating called a conditional response. You can use this type of stimulus response. Anchor yourself. Anchoring yourself helps you to associate any desired positive emotional response with a particular price of sensation. When you choose a positive emotion or thought to deliberately connect to a simple gesture, you can trigger this anger as any times you are feeling lost and your feelings will immensely change. Example like identify what you want to feel. Example confidence, happiness, calmness, etc. Decide on where you would like to place this anchor on your body, such as pulling your earbuds, touching your knuckle, or squeezing your fingernails. This physical touch will allow you to trigger the positive feeling at you. It does not matter where you choose, as long as it is a unique touch that you don't touch for anything else. Next one, think of a time in the past when you felt that state, like a example confidence. Mentally go back to that time and float into your body, looking through your own eyes and reliving that memory. Adjust your body language to match the memory and the state. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel the feelings as you remember that memory. You will begin to feel that state. This is similar to telling as a friends as a funny story from the past. And as you get into the story, you start to laugh again because you associate to the story and relive it. Next one, as you go back to the memory, touch, pull, or squeeze the area on your body that you choose. You will feel the feelings so while you relive the memory. Release the touch the moment the emotional state speaks and begins to wear off. This will create a neurological stimulus response that will trigger the state when you make that touch again. To feel the state, confidence, just touch yourself the same way again. To make the response even stronger, think of another memory where you felt that state. Go back and relive it through your own eyes and anchor the state on the same spot as before. Each time you add another memory, the anchor becomes more potent and will trigger a strong response. This technique can be used whenever you need to change your mood. Fourth main point is getting other people to like you, which means a rapport. This is an easy set of neuro-linguistic programming techniques, but they have the power to help you get along with virtually anyone. There are a lot of ways to build rapport with another person. One of the quickest and effective way comes from neuro-linguistic programming. This technique involves subtly mirroring another person's body language, tone of voice, and words. People like people who are like themselves. By subtly mirroring the other person, the brain fires off mirror neurons, pleasure senses in the brain, which makes the people feel a sense of liking for anyone mirroring them. The technique is very simple. Stand or sit the way the other person is sitting. Tilt your head the same way. Smile when they smile. Mirror their facing expression. Cross your legs when they cross theirs. Mirror their voice, etc. The key to creating an unconscious rapport is a subtlety. If you are too overt, the other person may notice consciously, which would most likely break the rapport. So keep your mirroring natural and calm. Fifth important technique, this one, improve influence and persuasions, which means while much of the work of neuro-linguistic programming is dedicated to helping people eliminate negative emotions, limiting bad habits, conflict, and more. Another part of the NLP is dedicated to how to ethically influence and pursue others. One of the mentors in this field was a man named Milton H. Erickson. Erickson was a psychiatrist who also studied the subconscious mind through hypnotherapy, the real scientific stuff. not the silly entertainment hypnosis you see in the stage shows. Eric was so adept at hypnosis, he developed a way to speak to the subconscious minds of other people without needing hypnosis. He could literally hypnotize the people anytime, anywhere, in everyday conversations. These Erickson's methods of hypnosis became known as a conversational hypnosis. This is a very powerful tool that can be used to not only influence and persuade others but also to help other people overcome fears, limiting belief, conflict, and more without their conscious awareness. This is especially useful when getting across to the people who might otherwise be resistant if they know. Thank you.